Good Vibe Crew, y'all know what to do. Hey, if you're new, welcome to the crew. If you're old, welcome back. Hey guys, how are you? I hope you had a great day today. So, I will not be talking. I am posting a video that is good for your mind, your spirit, and your body. More so for your mind and your spirit. It's actually going to help you look at a different perspective. It kind of helped me, not even kind of, it actually helped me. This video helped me realize why things happen so often the way that it do. And things that this young lady points out in this video explains so much. And this is like the video was actually for me. And maybe it can touch you guys as well. But it's an important message that I think you guys should watch and listen to, and watch it all the way to the end. Thank you guys.
Y'all know it's that time again. I'm just coming to drop some diamonds on y'all. Now listen to this right here. I always heard people say you attract what you are. But I beg to differ. When you are a chosen one, you don't attract what you are. You attract the people that need what you have. Glory to God. You attract the people that need what you have. If you have a healing spirit, you will always attract broken people. When you have the gift of influence, you will always attract people who are discouraged. You always speak life into them. Listen, when you were young, God already set you apart. As a child, he already made you an outcast, an outsider. When you tried to hang out with other people, other young people at an early age, they already knew you didn't fit in. That's why they treated you the way they did. Glory. That's why they could not accept you, because God already had anointed you and chose you to use for a greater cause in life. Yes. Listen, if you are chosen one, think about your relationship, your love life. For some reason, you always end up single. God will isolate you. See, as a chosen one, we can't just be with anybody. We can't just lay down with anybody. See, that's why your friends can be in toxic relationships for multiple years, but God will not allow you to stay. You may have some company in your life for a little while, but after that, God say they gotta go. They're not here for your greater good. They're not here to propel you, but he'll use the pain that they cause you to push you forward in life. How many of y'all know that? How many of y'all know that? He'll use them hurting you to push you up. See, because he knows that pain produces power. Yeah, he knows that. And so he will always use that pain to push you up, to make you more powerful. It's all a setup. It's all a setup. So you can't do what your friends do. You can't. Look, if it's God's will for you to be with somebody or to be married one day, he already had set aside your spouse, your kingdom partner. Everybody else that you're going to meet in your life are going to be assignments. This is why you end up hurting, because you're always trying to date your assignments. These people come, God bring these people along for you to bring influence into their life. You see what I'm saying? We go wrong thinking that every time you attracted to somebody, that this is somebody I'm supposed to hook up with. As a chosen one, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. God benefits from us better when we are single. That's why you can be so attractive and have so much going for yourself, and people don't understand why you single. You see what I'm saying? Because when he has chosen you, that's just part of this package. He has to isolate you because he has to grow you, mold you, shape you, because you have something else getting ready to take place in your life. God is calling you to break generational curses in your family. This is why you can't just hang out. This is why you couldn't be a part of the parties. And God had always put you in a place of isolation to stay back. He had to work on you. You had to go through so many tests in your life as a chosen one. Like I told y'all on that last video, it's a hindering spirit. It's always something that's coming to try to break you and try to hurt you. But God is using all of that for your greater good. He's using all that pain to produce power. When people see you, they see a light. That's why in your relationships, you always end up giving more than other people. See, it's all good in a relationship until you start asking for more. Because as a chosen one, you can't keep feeding us crumbs for too long. That ain't gonna fill us up. So when you was in that relationship and they was giving you them crumbs and you were giving them loaf of bread, it became a problem because you would no longer accept them crumbs. So they thought you was being ungrateful. Hear me when I say that. Check this out. Things become a lot easier on this journey as a chosen one when you find out that you are a chosen one and you see how it really works. It becomes a lot easier because then you will stop trying to live on a level or do things that other people do that God has not called you to do. You can't do what other people do. He done set you apart. That's why it don't be working out for you. That's why when you meet people, then they'll go, then you'll meet another person, then they'll go, then you'll meet another person, then they'll go. See, God also want to teach chosen people how to handle rejection. Listen, you can't be a leader until you're able to handle people walking out on you. Because as a leader, when you're a leader, you can't sit around and cry about who left. As a leader, we got to keep marching. We got to keep marching. So God will use people to come in and out so that you don't get used to nothing. God already has assigned friends and relationships for you. As a chosen one, most of the people that you're going to meet are just assignments. They not for you to date. They not for you to sleep with. They not for you to be friends. They are assignments. So when you listen as a chosen one, you have to check in with God. When you meet new people, you got to take them to the Lord and say, Lord, who is this? And what is my assignment here? What am I going to teach them and what are they going to teach me? See, we think just because we attracted to people that it's all in. We get to date them. We get to lay up with them. That ain't how that work, chosen one. See, let me tell you something. As a chosen one, trying to be living in the world, it is very dangerous for you because Satan is looking for you. You are a mark. You are anointed by God. So he's looking for you. That's why he used what you attracted to the most to hurt you. You heard me? The things that you are attracted to, Satan will use them to lure you in. It's like Samson in the Bible. So like I was talking about Samson in the Bible. God wanted me to study on him. See, Samson was handsome. The Bible was talking about his strength came from his locks and his hair. And so his enemies was trying to figure out why he stand out the way he do, why he shine the way he do. See, he had a hit on his life, just like you, chosen one, when God set you apart. So they tried to bring in the woman that he was attracted to find out his secrets of why he stand out the way he do. And you mess around and tell the wrong person. See, that's what happened. You get around the wrong people and lay up with them thinking you can trust them. But the whole time they plotting on you. They trying to bring you down. They being used by the enemy to destroy you. That's why as a chosen one, you need to go back and thank God for him keeping his protection on you, for him being strict on you, for all the time you were mad that you couldn't do what other people do. God was trying to protect you from yourself because you don't understand that this is real out here. Let me tell you this. God is very much real and so is Satan. Where you think these attacks come from if the spiritual world was not real? Why would these spirits be after you if God did not exist, if Satan did not exist? They are fighting over your soul. Hear me when I say that. And as a chosen one, you will notice that you're always in a crossfire. Because Satan wants to use you for his influence. See, when you have great influence on your life, Satan wants you too. He putting a bid on your soul. He said, I can use him. He has influence. But if I can use him in a negative way to bring more people to me, more souls. And God say, no, touch not my anointing. Touch not my anointed child. I'm going to use this child. I'm going to speak through this child. This child going to work for me. It's a constant battle for you. You understand? It's a battle. And this is why you need to understand that you are better off with God. Don't move unless he tell you to move. He is like your GPS. He is trying to guide you. He's trying to protect you. He see the things that are around you. Stop trying to get out of God's presence. Stop trying to break away from that hold that God has on you. You better be grateful that he's protecting you, because there are so many people in this world that's being touched by the enemy. But God will not let it touch you. He will not allow it to touch you. You may go through a lot of pain because it's helping you grow, but he's not allowing these things to kill you. As a chosen one, you will not stay down long. You will not. That's why you got to be careful who you hang around. People see you glow and they just want a piece of it. They want to touch it. They want to be around it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to protect yourself. Stop trying to hang out in this world. This world ain't for you, chosen one. Let me go back to Samson. When he laid down with the wrong woman, she found out his secret, and then pretty much she set him up for his enemies to come in. You see what I'm saying? You've been trusting the wrong people. You think that you can tell everybody your secrets. You think that you can tell everybody how you blessed. You can't do that. Everybody ain't happy for you. That's why as a wise man or woman who's anointed and who's chosen, you got to stop telling people about your blessings. Everybody not happy about that chosen one. A lot of stuff that God do for you, you got to keep it to yourself. You see what I'm saying? You got to keep it to yourself. A wise man or woman do not talk about their riches, because there's always somebody lurking and looking, waiting to plot on you, waiting to take from you. That's why in them relationships, you got to be careful. You always end up giving more to them relationships and trusting the wrong people. They not for you. They not. When you meet people that's for you, you will feel it in the spirit. You will feel it in the spirit. But unfortunately, as a chosen one, you're going to meet more people who's not for you. Because you got to remember, you're in the world. Glory to God. But you're not of it. But you're not of it. And as soon as you understand that, you can stop being so frustrated with God. You can stop being so frustrated within yourself, understanding what's wrong with me. Why I can't never have nobody. That's how you feel. It's not that you can't have nobody. Baby, you ain't like them. You see what I'm saying? The only dysfunction that you have as a chosen one are the people that you attract. You heard me? The only dysfunction that you deal with is the people that you attract. That's why people always talk to you and say you think you so perfect. It's not that you perfect. It's just that your heart is so pure. And when your heart is pure like God, it make you seem perfect because you are genuine. That's what it is. As a chosen one, most of the people you meet are going to come in your life and take from you. Think about a rest stop or a rest area on the road. You've been traveling and traveling. These people have been going back and forth, traveling to person, looking for shelter. These people are empty vessels. So when they see your rest area, they see that rest stop, they see shelter in you. They like, this is a good space. This is a good spot for me to rest, to eat, to be loved. They want your kindness. And after they get all of that from you and benefit from you, then guess what? They hit the road, Jack. And they don't come back no more. They hit the road. And they'll only come back when they need a refill. But if they can find somewhere else to get a refill, they'll go there and use them. So as a chosen one, you got to be careful who you let in your presence. Because 9 times out of 10 or 10 out of 10, they're going to use you. Most of these people can't afford you spiritually. They don't even have nothing to pour in you. That's why they end up taking away from you. But God say this is a season right now, chosen ones, where we are busy. We got to be about our Father's business. We can't lay around and party it up and chill out. We can't do that no more. We busy. There is work to be done now. You've been praying for your turn. But this is your turn. God, your turn came when God set you apart and he started working on you and isolating you. He was preparing you for the light now, the spotlight. And God is going to get the glory. But he's going to use your life. And this is why you can't keep laying around with different people. This is why you can't keep living like the world. I ain't saying be perfect, but as a chosen one, we got to be better. We just ain't anybody. We not just anybody. We can't do that. And a lot of us pray and say, Lord, when is my season? God, when is my time? God say, if you allow me to isolate you, if you allow me to really work on you, to mold you, to shape you. See, a lot of us are holding ourselves up because we want to do God and do us at the same time. Baby, one of y'all got to go. And if I was you, I would die to my flesh and live for God. It's not easy, but I promise you it's worth it. It's worth it. So if you've been waiting on your season, waiting on your time, just ask yourself, am I holding me back? Because God he ain't gonna let you listen, we not gonna convert God and sin together. God sent Jesus to break us away from that. You can't do both, basically. You can't. You gotta choose one. Are you really ready? Y'all already know what time it is. I just kind of dropped some diamonds on y'all real quick. But check this out right here. When you are chosen, you are anointed by God. The spirit that is attached to you the most is a hindering spirit. You know what I'm talking about. And if you know that you're chosen and that you carry anointing, you know that even when you was little, you always had a spirit of hindrance. And some people okay, what that is. It's like no matter what it is that you do, where you go, it's like you're always noticed. And when you're noticed, people always mistreat you. For an example, I remember I was working on this job, and hold on, before I get there before you find out about a hindering spirit, you will always think everybody jealous of you, or they just don't like you, or somebody might have said something about you, and so they going off what people said. Then you start to realize this happened with strangers as well. And it was important for me to say that because a lot of times, like I say, you will always think it's jealousy until you see it start happening with people that don't even know you. So just let me give you an example. I was on this job, right? And long story short, the manager, she looked like me. You know what I'm saying? So every time it was called for people to get raises, everybody got called from their register but me. Now I'm just looking around okay, well, maybe I ain't getting a raise. You know what I'm saying? And this was every time, y'all. Everybody got a raise but me. Every time. But check this out. That's when around the time when I got saved and I was, walking and trying to understand, things too. So I used to come home and pray about it. And I remember, we ended up getting a new manager. And I remember, plain as day, God was like, this manager you ain't got to worry about. This person right here, I sent them for you. And so when this manager came in, when I tell you, when God sees, it's like you have hindering spirits around you, and and Satan sends out his little demons, his little spirits to come and attack you. Like I said, based on who you are. The whole purpose is to keep you crippled, no matter what way, financially, mentally, emotionally, physically. It does not matter. It is to keep your spirits broken. So that's why when you always going through these challenges all the time, back to back, you be the purest person in the room. You solid. You are the go-to person. And then you don't understand how you always facing these obstacles and hindrance. Okay, so let me get to this manager. He came on in, and then, like I say, when you're going through a lot, God will have somebody to step in that favors you. And you will know it's a spiritual thing too. You will know. So this manager came in, and when I tell you, God allowed him to favor me, and God vindicated me on that job. I had been on there for years, never got a raise. So finally he came. It was months or maybe a year on. I finally had talked to him, and like I said, this man, like I say, he was really for me. He even gave me a nickname and all. I could do no wrong on this job at this point, even though I come to work, do what I'm supposed to do. But that's just how it was. It was time for me to be vindicated. It was time for me to have favor and have a harvest. So we had got two new managers, and it was another lady too. She was cool too. I didn't have no issues. So he made her email the company about my raise. And guess what? When they emailed, and I saw this email for myself, I took a picture of it. They was like, this employee is way overdue for a raise. Overdue. And now, hold on, y'all. Now, let's think about this. You know, companies don't want to pay you anyway. And this was years ago now. They don't want to pay you. But for a company, it was something called retro pay or something like that. If a company emails the manager and say that this employee is way overdue, and they give you I got a good little raise. If a company say you way overdue, you way overdue, because they don't want to pay nobody. So this how I know it was like a spiritual thing, because even the company didn't understand it. The new managers didn't understand it. But, that's just one example. And another one, like I say, and sometimes you would think something is about race, but really it's not. Sometimes, like I said, you got to know who you are in the kingdom of God. Then you go about it that way to determine whether it's race or this just a spiritual attack. Just like I worked on this job, I was young. Like, this is when I actually did get saved. And I got this little job at a store. And so I got this job at a store. And when I got there, one of the women told me, she was like, some of us cool, but then some of us, really not. So, just do what you're supposed to do. Keep it at that. Okay. I worked my first day. It was like training. I was off the next day. Then I had to go like the following day. So I maybe went on Monday, was off Tuesday, went Wednesday. I got to this job, right? And I'm doing my thing. I'm at the register. I had got off my little break. I'm at the register. And the lady that came, she was like, "Are you chewing gum?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" "Well, we ain't chewing gum." I was like, "Okay, no problem." She wanted me to take the gum out and put it in her hand in a bag, trying to degrade me in front of customers. I was so shocked. Like, I said, "Ma'am, I can put the gum in the trash." She was like, "No, spit it out and put it in my hand." Like I'm a child, like I'm her toddler. And I'm just looking like, bro, this can't be happening right now. And then after that, I spit the gum out. She was like, "Get out of my store." I was like, what the? I said, okay, call my ride. Boy, when I tell y'all, I was so confused. Like, what just happened? And since I had just got saved, that played on me on a spiritual level. Because I'm like, okay, God, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in the world. But I didn't know this is how something ain't right now. People can't be acting like that and getting away with it now, God. But like I said, the whole point is to break you and break your spirit. And also, the devil wants to break your relationship with God. That's why a lot of y'all be mad at God because of stuff that happened to y'all. Y'all don't understand this right here. Now, check this out. How many of y'all done experienced getting saved or going to church, and then once you did that, bad stuff start happening to you? I know I done heard people say that once I got with God, that's when stuff started happening. Let me teach you about spiritual of authority. Spiritual of authority meaning, okay, when you do get saved and you're walking in that light, you smell like the pureness of God. You smell like the heavens, the kingdom. You got that sin on you. You have that light on you. So when you go into these places, you know how we be talking about vibes, or I just get a vibe? That's what it is. Them spirits, they be talking to one another. And they saying that, well, these demons in here, we occupy this space. You ain't gonna come in here and trying to, turn it over to something else. You're not gonna bring light in this darkness. That's what it really be. It's more than just these vibes, these spirits. It's called spiritual of authority. And when these demons have occupied this place right here, they want to kick you out by any means necessary. They want you out. Now, hold on, because I can unpack a lot in this message. So, then this was a white lady that did this. See, this is why I say race don't always play. Because you would have thought, back then you would have thought, man, this racist lady, and she, because I'm black. I'm gonna tell you something. This is when you gonna find out. It's a spiritual attack. It depends on who you are. Now, I got a friend that went to the same job, and I'm gonna give you the backstory on what happened after I left. And he went to the same job. He was black. Me and him used to go to Bible study together. But obviously, the enemy knew that I was a threat, but my friend wasn't spiritually. Because, when it comes to his journey, he wasn't into it like that, So he went to the same job, right? He was eating at his register, chilling at his register, on the phone at his register, chewing gum at his register. And that's why I say you got to know if it's a racial thing or a spiritual thing. Let me go back to follow up on what happened when I left the job. I was terminated. I had called the district manager because I'm just like, hold on now, I just got this job and stuff, whatever. I knew what she did was wrong, but I had called him and I said, I told him who I was, and I said I worked at this location and I had been, fired for chewing gum. And he said, well, I can assure you that we don't have a policy, for not being able to chew gum. That's not a policy. From what I know, you're able to chew gum. Now, this the, direct district manager. And so he said, I said, and I just started the job. So he's like, did you get in trouble before? You're on like probation or something? I was like, that was my second day of training. He was like, yeah, so you wouldn't have been there long enough to have probation or anything like that. And I'm like, no, I'm literally been there just second day of training, and she kicked me out the store. So he went. Now look, he started laughing because he couldn't he literally tried to go through different things. He was like, have you been laid? Have you called out? Because he wanted to ask a bunch of questions because he was like, I don't know what to think of this. And I was like, no. He pulled up my name. He said, you been there two days, like, the second time being there. So first he wanted to go through that just to make sure he wasn't tripping. So he's like, so she kicked you out the store for chewing gum? I said, look, sir, she even wanted me to spit it in the bag in her hand. He was like, what? I said, I said, go to the store, pull up the cameras. I said, that's that. Guess what? He went, pulled it up, saw it. He called me. He was like, wow. He said, if you want your job back, just say the word. He said, but honestly, after seeing what I saw, you probably don't even want to go back there. I said, no. I just wanted to let it, be known. So after that, no, I did not take this job back. When the one door closes, just know that God always will open another door. One thing about it, as a chosen one, you still gonna go through something, but God gonna make sure he take care of you, and that's for sure. But that store did get closed down, and them people that lady did lose her job too. So, and like I say, man, just learning who you are in God will answer a lot of questions, because it don't always be no jealousy or people hating or somebody did this or that. It's just the devil. He's attacking you. His whole thing is to keep, like I say, to keep you broken. And also the devil wants to mess up our relationship with God, because here, what y'all got to understand is this: Satan is God's enemy. And if God is your father, because he can't defeat God, Satan cannot defeat God. He say, I'm going to get to the closest thing, which is your child. They can't fight you. You know what I'm saying? They can't fight me the way you can. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back to follow up on what happened when I left the job. I was terminated. I had called the district manager because I'm just like, hold on now, I just got this job and stuff, whatever. I knew what she did was wrong, but I had called him and I said, I told him who I was, and I said I worked at this location and I had been, fired for chewing gum. And he said, well, I can assure you that we don't have a policy, for not being able to chew gum. That's not a policy. From what I know, you're able to chew gum. Now, this the, direct district manager. And so he said, I said, and I just started the job. So he's like, did you get in trouble before? You're on like probation or something? I was like, that was my second day of training. He was like, yeah, so you wouldn't have been there long enough to have probation or anything like that. And I'm like, no, I'm literally been there just second day of training, and she kicked me out the store. So he went. Now look, he started laughing because he couldn't he literally tried to go through different things. He was like, have you been laid? Have you called out? Because he wanted to ask a bunch of questions, because he was like, I don't know what to think of this. And I was like, no. He pulled up my name. He said, you been there two days, like, the second time being there. So first he wanted to go through that just to make sure he wasn't tripping. So he's like, so she kicked you out the store for chewing gum? I said, look, sir, she even wanted me to spit it in the bag in her hand. He was like, what? I said, I said, go to the store, pull up the cameras. I said, that's that. Guess what? He went, pulled it up, saw it. He called me. He was like, wow. He said, if you want your job back, Just say the word. He said, but honestly, after seeing what I saw, you probably don't even want to go back there. I said, no. I just wanted to let it, be known. So after that, no, I did not take this job back. When the one door closes, just know that God always will open another door. One thing about it, as a chosen one, you still gonna go through something, but God gonna make sure he take care of you, and that's for sure. But that store did get closed down, and them people that lady did lose her job too. So, and like I say, man, just learning who you are in God will answer a lot of questions, because it don't always be no jealousy or people hating or somebody did this or that. It's just the devil. He's attacking you. His whole thing is to keep, like I say, to keep you broken. And also the devil wants to mess up our relationship with God, because what y'all got to understand is this: Satan is God's enemy. And if God is your father, because he can't defeat God, Satan cannot defeat God. He say, I'm going to get to the closest thing, which is your child. They can't fight you. You know what I'm saying? They can't fight me the way you can. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why, Satan can have his way with us, because a lot of us, when we don't have that relationship with God, we don't know how to fight in the spirit. At one point, I didn't. But God started teaching me how to fight in the spirit, because after a while, you got to stop using these, because this will get you in a lot more trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for you to build a future when you got these records on you. You see what I'm saying? You go to job and you got this track history of always trying to solve your problems with violence. So I had to learn how to start praying and going to God and letting him fight these battles. That's how he taught me discipline at that. He said, you got to keep your hands clean, because you in a world where you going to mess up stuff for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So God is like, help me, help you. So I come home and I pray on it and say, Lord, this is what's taking place. And he always took care of them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't gotta walk around with no tools out on my hands. I just pray about it and send. I push that on up to the Supreme Court. It's just God. That's how this gotta work when you're a chosen one. And this is something that I do want to continue to speak to, my peers and younger people, and just somebody older than me that's still struggling. Satan's whole agenda is to turn you from God. He will use anybody to turn you away from God. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole agenda. He needs to push you out of covenant so that you fair game out here. When you ain't got no protection, no God's protection, he get to have his way with you. That's why a lot of y'all, he can't. Like Job, he was protected. He was blessed in the Bible if you go read about him. But then Satan wanted to challenge him, and God wanted to show him, hey, Job is for me. He rocking with me. But that is, Satan's whole, agenda is to turn you from God. And he's doing a great job. Why you think at an early age, we always said, why bad things happen to good people? That's what he wanted you to see. Because if he see like, if God let all this bad stuff happen, he wanted to turn you from God. You know what I'm saying? And I remember growing up and thinking like, man, bad stuff always happens to the good people, God. And there already is starting to have that division between me and God, because I'm not understanding what you're doing. I thought you were supposed to be good. Why? But here's what we don't understand. When you read your word, that's when you can understand. But by now, a lot of us are catching on. The word says that, when he take the good away, it's because he's trying to protect them, get them out of this mess. But now that we're growing and we're seeing how the world is shifting, how evil it is, now a lot of us ready to go. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say God is going to win at the end, because everything he tried to teach us is coming around full circle. You know what I mean? Now we got this whole trend talking about earth is ghetto. We don't want to be here. That's what I'm saying. That's why he tried to take all the good ones. That's why he allowed the good ones to pass on through, to come to him, to let their soul rest. But in the beginning, we thought God was wrong. But you see why I say the world is so corrupt and evil. Look, let's drop these diamonds today. One of the most frustrating things that you will ever experience as a chosen one and being set apart is going through that place of loneliness. My God. I remember when I started out on this journey, I had people around me that I relate with and that I could talk to. But once I started this journey, there was a disconnect. It was so frustrating. It was so lonely, not because I didn't have people, but the people that I was around, we no longer had a connection. My God, we no longer had a connection. What I was experiencing, they couldn't understand it. My mindset was shifted to a whole nother dimension. See, when you are a chosen one, God will gift you with a discernment spirit. You have the gift to discern things. You see things before it happens. So when you try to talk to other people and tell them about it, they think you crazy. They think you tripping. When you are a chosen one and God put that anointing on you, that's why you have dreams. That's why you have visions. That's why you can discern things. And for a while, people will think you tripping. You know that you hearing from God. You know that you seeing things that God is showing you. I was starting to have dreams and visions, and I would tell people about it. They ain't know what to say. They be like, "Oh, you on some other stuff? What you psychic or something?" And so that puts you in a place of frustration and isolation. That's what it'll do to you. Cause now the same people that you used to could relate to, you can't no more. So it'll put you in a place of, Lord, I don't know if I want to do this. Because instead of going out to the cookouts and to the parties, I would want to stay back and study the word of God. I had a hunger to understand more from God. That's what it'll do to you. It'll give you more hunger for God. There's something we got to do. See, there is something that God want to use us for. In this part of your life, you become like a Moses, getting ready to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. See, let me tell you about this right here. This is when God made it clear to me. I had a childhood friend, and me and him was on the phone. We was talking. You know, we had got back in touch with one another. We had been hanging out and stuff like that. And he knows about my brand that I started. Some of you know about my clothing brand. Check it out. The link in my bio. He knew about this. So he was like, I want to do something too. So I started brainstorming ideas. So get to the point where I came up with something that he could do. I came up with a name. I was like, hey, this sounds like a fragrance. You can come out with like a man's cologne. And when I say he had so much joy and he was so hyped up. He was like, how you come up with this, man? You know, this is good. I said, but you can do it. We can do it together. I'll help you. Listen, he was so excited. He was so excited that he went to his uncle. He was like, hey, my homegirl came up with something. And listen to this right here. He was telling him about the cologne and something like that. And the first thing the uncle said was, man, you need a chemist. Man, you need this. Man, you can't do this. Man, you can't do that. And God spoke to me right then. He said, do you see why I need you? He said, you spoke life into him. You gave him hope. But the enemy came in and took the hope right back from him. See, a lot of people, listen, God wants to use you to speak life to other people and elevate them. You are Moses. You're trying to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. They have pharaohs in their life that's holding them down. A lot of our friends are stuck in environments where they don't see no hope. The only thing they see is the street. So my friend go right back to the street. So then it was clear to me why he could never get out. And this is why I say, even though we are lonely now, it is worth it because God is setting us apart to be that motivation for people. There's nations of people that need to hear what you have to say. Now, think about it. If I would have gave up a long time ago and said, man, this is lonely. I don't want to do this, God. Think about, I would not be here right now giving this message. I wouldn't be able to be a blessing to other people. You see what I'm saying? God needs us. It's only temporary that we're going to be lonely. It's only a temporary thing because you got to understand the God that we serve. He can add to you. Getting a spouse is easy. God can do it today. Getting friends that are right for you. God can do it at any time. God say, I just need you to go on this mission for me. Can you please go on this mission for me? Because there are other people that need to be led out of the fire. So can you just be lonely temporary? It's not, listen, God will bless you. You have to be that sacrifice. God had to lead you out first so he can show you how to go back and get other people out. That's what it's all about. He want to use you to deliver other people out. And in that moment, God was using me to speak life into my friend. Because the people that he had been around, listen, they can't see no further than their front room. Because of the uncle had lived in so much defeat in his life. He couldn't see life for his nephew. So God made it clear to me and said, this is why I couldn't let you give up. Because there are people that need to hear what you have to say. And I'm telling you today, there are people who need to hear what you have to say because they relate to you. Here's the thing. Satan, his army is very strong right now. But as people of God, we got to stop being so lazy. We got to stop complaining and just get up and do the work. We got to do it. If we want to see life get better, then we got to put life. We got to put hope back in here. Because we can't sit around and be lazy. We got to do the work. We just like the children of Israel who complain about the journey. God will reward you. Listen, we cannot let the enemy defeat us. We can't let the enemy take no more of our children. We have to speak life into these kids. We have to speak life into each other. There are so many people in dark places. They don't see no life nowhere around them. They wake up around the same environment with no good news. They wake up to every day, no good news, no excitement. So that's why I said I'm going to dedicate myself to God so I can be somebody that speak life into other people. I'm okay with being lonely for a season. I'm okay with going through the agony because it's for a great cause. Why go through agony and pain for silly things in the world? You see how many people go through all this trouble for silly things. I'd rather go through the agony for God to help give somebody else life, not death. A lot of people want to be chosen, but you're not really ready for the process. See, you want the result, but you got to go through a process. There's always a process in everything that we're going to do in this life. So you can't be chosen without being chosen to go through the pain. Because like I told y'all before, pain produces power. So get back up, dust yourself off. I know you've been discouraged. I know you've been lonely. But get back up and do this again. And tell God, I'm ready. Because God will restore you whenever you start to get low. And a lot of times we're looking for other people to feed us. But God say, as a chosen one, the only person that can feed you is me. Think about a foreign car. It only takes premium gas. God say you are different, you foreign. So it takes my premium strength to go into you. And not only do you need the premium strength, you need the premium faith. You need premium knowledge and wisdom. God said, I'm the only one that can fill you up because you are foreign, because you are different. You're cut from a different cloth. You can't have that regular stuff going in your system. You need the premium stuff from me. You need my knowledge and wisdom. Somebody say premium. I'm different. I'm foreign. You need it from God. So you have to be encouraged, stay encouraged. And I know sometimes you're going to go through a season where it's like you praying and don't hear from God. But God is there. He's listening. Just keep pressing. Keep pressing. Don't give up. Keep pressing. Because we're going to win this fight. The devil is already defeated. But we ain't going to let him take nobody else with him. That's the goal. We're not going to let the devil take nobody else with him. Not our children. Not us. Chosen one. We got to get on the job. We got to get back on it, y'all. Let's do it.